Hi all and welcome to a new video. While Star Wars Legion is a very balanced wargame, there are still some good and bad choices in it. We will be heavily referencing what I believe are the best and worst units, and as the new meta is shifting, it's probably a little different, so the video may be remade once the meta shifts after the next round of updates. I did consult as much of the online forums posts and stuff as I could for this, to try and get a more unbiased opinion, but I figured I'd let you all know this is more my opinion. Points values will be brought up when needed as well. Going straight into the mercenaries of Star Wars Legion, we start with the worst, which unfortunately was thrown in as the worst for what I think the Shadow Collective worst looking thing is, as I still fool myself into thinking they are a faction and not a battle force from time to time. This was a genuinely hard choice to make, but pound for pound, the mercenary swoop bike riders don't offer anything your faction specific, fast moving units do. Choosing them is almost never worth it over what your faction specific units can do. That being said, they have more than enough uses in the Shadow Collective and are a very good unit I have used to great success. Switching right over to the best unit among the mercenaries, I am going to cheat here as it is another genuinely hard choice, as a lot of mercenary units can change the way your army works. Looking at you, Cad Bane, and your recent resurgence into meta, I am going to cheat and just say Boba Fett. He has two variations, both of which are amazing, and have dominated the meta in the past, and some still in the present, as he remains an amazing pick for both Empire and Rebels. Switching on over to the Republic is another really hard choice. So I threw in the ATRT. The ATRT is specifically just outperformed by all other Republic units at its price point. A white save vehicle in a sea of red saves, it is targeted first and taken out fast whenever it is taken against good players. Your best bet is taking a horde of 3 or 4 of these, but at that point you're running the 501st Battle Force. The ATRT is also outperformed by the Bark Speeder, at least pound for pound and with the saves and the way their armor works. So, all in all, it is good, it's just probably objectively the worst thing in the Republic's arsenal right now. Honorable mention goes to the Wookiee Fluttercraft, even though I absolutely love it on paper. And I am cheating here with the best, as I am saying it is Yoda, as he is just a fantastic Jedi. While the most expensive unit right now in the roster for the Republic, he is well worth it. Guidance, the command cards, and the mini being so small it's hard to even see, to be able to hit him, make him a powerhouse on the table, and way better than his contemporaries as like the grand leader of your faction. Going on into the Separatists, I was 50-50 on what to go with this, but there is an obvious choice. The NR-N99 Persuader class tank droid. It is a tank that is just worse than the AAT for the price, and while on paper it has uses, it generally gets outperformed by the superior option. Having white saves doesn't really help it, as the AAT has red saves, and yes, it is a transport, but it is such a slow-moving transport, it really isn't worth taking for its transport capabilities. I was going to maybe toss Droidicas here, but with the recent points change, I can't say they're the worst anymore. They definitely are far better choice than this tank droid, even though it does look awesome. And I was also 50-50 on what to go for the Separatist best, but I decided to throw a biased answer in here, the B1s. They are a solid infantry choice that is cheap and gets things done. They are core to many lists, including mine, and the reason I love this faction's playstyle. Like it or not, most Separatist lists can be built around B1s, and if you don't include B1s, you're kind of losing out on their activation enhancement abilities they provide you, along with a lot of really good upgrades that just kind of make them so much better. The B1s are fantastic for the price point and genuinely worth taking as, well, a horde or just 1 or 2 to supplement in when you have some extra points left over. Switching to the Empire worst, this kind of hurts me because I love the mini, and I love it on paper, but Agent Callus is an amazing character, but in Legion, bringing him is often a risk due to his buffs for bringing him along being outweighed by the point cost compared to what else you can do. He is almost not worth an eighth of your force, especially with having a flaw card of all things, which can be really hard to deal and plan around. On to the Empire's best. The Empire has 3 different things that could go here, but highlighting one of their best strengths recently is the Dark Troopers. They break activation rules and are very hard to kill if you don't bring anti-tank. In general, the Dark Troopers feel like a kind of divisive point in Legion right now, at least in my opinion, as they are a shining example of what power creep can do for Legion. They have so many different things, break activation rules, and are genuinely just kind of hard to deal with in a casual setting. I don't know, I have very mixed opinions on them, but they are fantastic and amazing and definitely a great strength of the Empire. The worst unit of the Rebels, and this is a very personal choice, and it is the one Rebel unit I would never bring. It fails as a transport, it fails as weapon platform, and I think it looks awesome, but it is just flawed in design. And that is the Rebel Land Speeder. It looks cool, but it's flawed in its design in the game. It feels a niche that will almost never be used, and that niche is a transport for a hero. But it's an open transport, so the hero can still be shot at. So, I don't know. Like, on paper, I get why they released this when it did. The Rebels don't really have tanks. This was their vehicle, but it tries to be everything and fails at everything. I would bring ATRTs over this any day of the week. 2 or 3 Rebel ATRTs can be a threat. They can be challenging to deal with. One of these is not that much of a threat. It's not that hard to deal with. It's not that challenging. And the Rebels have access to an amazing transport in the AA5 speeder bus. This mini just does not work. Unlike others like Callus, it's my personal opinion, or the Separatist tank, which you can still kind of take and work, or the Republic ATRT, which works if you bring it in hordes, or the speeder bikes, which work if you bring them with Shadow Collective. This Rebel vehicle rarely, if ever, works on the tabletop. I have had zero difficulty clearing it off the 2 times it has been brought against me, and it has done nothing against me both times. Is this a bias? Probably. Do I not see this played at all among the Rebel players in my local groups? Yes. Now for the Rebels, it is hard to find a best option as they have so many good units, but only a few shine through as the best. And I do believe recency bias is a thing, but Ahsoka Tano fills the gap of strong Rebel hero that is needed. Strong Rebel hero that has lightsabers, I should say. And she is far more affordable right now than Luke, as the 20 to 30 points he can scrape off taking her instead is worth it. Now, I say all this to say, the Rebels have a lot of honorable mentions here right now. Chewbacca has been doing some work in his new ATST, although he counts as Bright Tree Village, not Rebel. Operative Luke is fantastic, and is an amazing, central figure for the Rebels. He's great. Cassian has taken a lot of good uses lately, along with K2. He's been used to get high up in tournaments. Lando is a lot of fun to use, even if he's not the current meta choice, but all the different little cool things he can do make you feel like a gambler. Even Han is getting much better with his points change. The Rebels have so many good things. I should say, even though they have sucked in the past, and compared to newer units, they don't shine up as much as they should, they're now priced more appropriately, and the Rebels are kind of doing well because of that. Who could have figured actually pricing older units to match the newer units would actually make the faction do well? I am happy AMG finally did it. As a wrap-up, I have some strong opinions about Legion, in both ways, as you can tell by this video. Personally, I think it is hard to find best options for everything. Legion is very balanced in the realm of war games, and in the grand scheme of everything, and they have far less units that suck than other war games. Even everything I put here on the worst, you could take them and have it be a viable, fun, casual list without a problem. Looking at you, 40k, for not being able to do that. It is nice that some of these were actually hard to choose due to some factions not having a straight-up terrible unit. I would love to hear your thoughts on the best and worst below. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. It would help me a lot. We're getting closer and closer to 1,000 subs. I want to do a special or something for it, but I don't think I'll have the time to do it. I am still working on a How to Play Legion video. I believe I have got my computer to do the things I need it to do. And now it's just time to hunker down and work on the script and make sure it makes sense and have other people listen to it and then read it and then give me feedback. This is a video I actually want to have a lasting effect and impact. and be a good reference point for the next 6 months to a year. So obvious mistakes are trying not to be made here. So I apologize. I am trying to have it out by the end of the month. It might be a bit longer. It is currently on its second draft? Yeah, second draft. 1.5 technically, but you know what I mean. So hopefully all this work gets to fruition soon. Hopefully I didn't make a crap ton of mistakes. And then I'll release the video and like 8 other people will point out mistakes, but now that's besides the point. Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I hope you enjoy your week. Have a great time all, and it's good to be back.